honor and all glory to God. Loyam, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Hakadosh Batam. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, as well as risking our lives and our freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, and land of the other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. Brother, y'all, what's up out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. Basically, I was on Newsbreak. Newsbreak popped up with a article about a fourth stimulus because, I noticed that Newsbreak, it comes with a lot of like articles out of multiple different sources. That's why it's called Newsbreak. So there's different news publications that they might speak on the same, subject, because it's coming from another publication. But as of lately, like you've been a lot of talks about this fourth stimulus, which more than likely they'll have to pass. But then again, Esau's so gangster. Look at how he's cutting the PUA money. And you got to remember to show you how gangster it really truly is. A lot of the reasoning behind creating the stimulus package that Joe Biden signed was to actually pay for people unemployment and because of the pandemic actually putting people out of work and whatnot. So for them to stop that, it's like money that just will be sitting for what? Ohio, they talking about literally having a lottery if you vaccinated. That, not mind you, you got people still being underemployed or not employed at all. And then that's gonna hurt a lot of people, and that's showing you how the Lord is tightening this place down even more. But not to digress, made me think of a few scriptures looking at the article, but I'm gonna bring out some of the article. Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. So this is it says, could a fourth stimulus check be in the works? What to know about more payments in 2021? It's by Clifford Colby. It was dated May 22nd, 2021. It says, can we expect a fourth stimulus check before December? Since the American Rescue Plan was implemented in March, the IRS has distributed more than 165 million third stimulus checks and continues to send batches weekly. With the distribution of this latest round of pandemic aid coming to an end, some members of Congress are pushing for a fourth payment, either as another one-time check or in the form of recurring payments. Now, the Biden administration also, what he did was he put in like a tax break and recurring payments for people that have children, which is supposed to start in July. So, like a brother made mention of, that's the beginning of your UBI, Universal Basic Income. With the distribution of this latest round of pandemic aid coming to an end, some members read all that, Salakia. Either as another one, I read that, Salakia. Others in Washington disagree that any additional relief money is necessary. The debate is likely to continue, and President Joe Biden hasn't committed to a fourth check. But some lawmakers are asking that he incorporate direct economic payments to struggling families in his new stimulus plan. Now, remind you, at the end of the day, this government can actually do what they're showing you they can do what they want, And like I said, you got to remember, they literally are cutting, like recently I just got an appointment and it took like almost, I want to say like 9 weeks. No, like 9 weeks over 2 months to get it. And it's like they setting it up for perfect failure because, it normally takes like 21 days. So not only are they behind, but I think they're purposely doing it because they didn't pay out none of them weeks. You know what I mean? And the lady was like, well, because they are behind. But then when I finally got through to the lady, she actually took care of it right then. So my point being, you got like another month of that, and then everybody's just gonna be on the regular state unemployment, which is not enough money to really survive when you got the price of goods going up and all that, and they know all this shit. Showing you, it's a scripture that talks about they. Let me see if it's in there. I might got it. I think it's a Psalm 63. This might be Psalms 58. I mean, not 60. Oh, it might be. Oh, that ain't it. It's in they're not letting me do that. Salaki, bear with me for a second. Yeah, it was Psalm 73. I was going to use this for another lesson too, because this is talking about the wicked, and it talks about how Psalm 73 in verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They don't figure that's oppressing to take away money that's going to be needed. That's going to be needed when the price of goods going up. And like I said, these people analyze everything. So you don't think they're purposely doing it? Well, ultimately, it's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua purposely doing it. But back into the article, it says, others in Washington disagree any additional relief money is necessary. The debate is likely to continue, but some lawmakers are asking that he incorporate direct economic payments to struggling families in his new stimulus plans, citing wide support by both the public and economic experts. Currently, the proposal contains other ways people can get benefits or tax breaks, including up to $3,600 per kid from the new child tax credit or $16,000 in tax credits for child care expenses. By the way, an IRS letter you may have received by Biden is about the third check, not the fourth. We'll share what we know about possible relief during this ongoing economic recovery. Okay, that's no point. It says stimulus check may still be on the horizon. Bear with me for a second. It says approved in March, the American Rescue Plan was Biden's administration's first stimulus package, which included $1,400 checks, $1,400 checks, $300 in extra, $300 extra in weekly unemployment benefits, and expanded child tax credit running into 2022. It says the White House has put forward two stimulus bills for 2021. The American Families Plan and the American Jobs Plan. Neither proposal calls for a new stimulus check at this stage. However, Democratic members of the House and Senate have thrown their weight behind a fourth stimulus check, including recurring or monthly payments. In late March, a group of 10 progressive lawmakers, including Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, asked Biden to include a regular stimulus payment in his next stimulus package. We urge you to include recurring direct payments and automatic unemployment insurance extensions tied to economic conditions in your Build Back Better long-term economic plan, the statement said. A few weeks later, a group of 21 Democrats made a similar request to Biden. The most recent pitch for additional stimulus money came on May 17th from several members of the House Ways and Means Committee, remarking on increased poverty and spiraling debt among Americans. Their letter noted that most people spent relief checks on monthly expenses or essentials such as food, utilities, rent, and mortgage payments. So these are the things that's included in there. Stimulus check, child tax credit, it's federal unemployment bonus. That's what they did with this last plan that they passed. But like I said, I just made mention of literally they stopping the PUA money next month. Most of the states. And it's pretty much all the red states, all the Republican states. But then, so you got, and you see the power struggle going on. You got the red states trying to stop it, but then you got the Democrat or the blue states trying to give out more money. So it's like they're working in cahoots. You know what I mean? Just like how with the stimulus bills when Trump was in office, literally you had them debating on, the Democrats was talking about push it and pass it while the Republicans was pushing against it. And then you had Trump had to he had to do like Biden did and go over the Senate and, over Congress's head. You know what I mean? When in actuality, like they say, like the brother broke it down, it's Congress that actually is running this. The president is nothing but a figurehead. He's the president of the corporation known as America. Possibly, it said if it proves the reoccurring payments, the proposal will be next likely place for Congress to provide more funding in the form of a fourth or even fifth stimulus check. See, but then, like I said, to show you how full of shit this is, like I say, this is dated like the 22nd, right? Today is the 22nd. So the thing is, right, because the 21st is Friday. So the thing is this. It's already known, like, pretty much half of the union, half of America, is divided because all the Republican states are stopping the federal PUA, the extra $300. So what is he talking about? Renewing the federal unemployment. Point being, you got a lot of people that's all for this thing, not understanding how this monetary system works. It's built off of debt. You know what I mean? So, the first thing I thought when they was talking about this was of the scripture in Habakkuk chapter 2. This is book of Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall find and what shall I answer when I'm reproved. Verse 2. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. And the vision is these prophecies. Make these prophecies known. So they, you break them down, you put them out there, you make them known to the people, because at the end of the day, that's the job of a prophet, to prophesy, to say before or foretell or say before these events take place. That's what the whole purpose of us, you know, you always once in a while get some passerby that sees us out in the highways and hedges and asks us what are our purposes of being out there. Our purpose is to be out there to bring our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments, to condemn the nations for what they have done, the parts that they played in our slavery and our captivity and our downfall, and let them know their judgment, and to literally foretell the destruction of this wicked ass kingdom known as AKA America, or known as America, AKA Babylon the Great. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for a point in time, meaning these prophecies. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Brothers was in the spirit, because when they locked everything down, they was, oh yeah, wow, we wait for this. The brothers got excited, because we waiting. We know how bad it's got to get before the Lord sends back, or our Father sends back our big brother Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So we was all for it, like yeah, still, and then brothers was still taken care of. But in the midst of this, when things open back up, it seemed like we look absurd and crazy to the world. They don't know what they're talking about. They bugged out. But in actuality, it's telling you in the scriptures, though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely will come. The Most High, our Father, is not a liar. If He says it's gonna come to pass, it's gonna come to pass. And that's gonna come to pass in His timing, but nonetheless, it's gonna come to pass. I mean, like I said, I always bring this out. The scriptures are known as a living book due to the fact it's living, because the things written therein actually have come to pass. You got history lessons and history teachers, and that's the amazing part about the Bible. You got people that say that it's a fake book, or a man wrote the book. Yeah, but it was divinely inspired. It's people actually that lived mentioned in the Bible. So how could it be a fake book? Verse 4, behold, his soul is which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And when it's talking about his soul, it's talking about this red Hebrew Edomite, Esau Edom, aka the so-called white man. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, meaning he like the wine is his philosophies. Let me see something if it goes into this. I didn't mean to do that, Salakia. Nah, it's supposed to be his philosophies. Because, that's why it talks about, I forgot in what scripture it talks about, he had the nations drunk, and I think it is in Jeremiah, chapter 51 maybe, when it talks about the nations are mad. You know what I mean? I think in Revelations as well. But it says, the transgressive by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, his who enlarges his desire is hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied. And that's why you go, because he's a destructive force. You know what I mean? It tells you in the book of Romans about how he's the Most High sword on the left hand side. To you pass judgment on a lot of you 2/3 Jakes. That's what you've been seeing lately. Jakes getting shot in the back, shit shot left and right. I got another video lined up, and it's talking about a whole situation where a cop shot a Jake that was asleep. And he didn't pull out a pistol or nothing. He tried to pull off, and they shot him. And then made it where they don't have to literally pay no money. Like the city can't be sued. Talking about they not in trouble as other men, really. You know what I mean? It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, heapeth unto him all people. And that's the point. That's the philosophies. That's that wine. You know what I mean? That's them doctrines. You know what I mean? He's telling you a woman is equal to a man. He's telling you, these people, he goes to all these different countries. And that's why when you go over to China and you think you about to meet a whole new culture, you get over there and this shit set up like America. What the fucking buildings and, you know what I mean? The only difference is you could get a whole meal out of a vending machine in China. You know what I mean? Like real talk. All night. Since the stores ain't open all night, you go. I'm talking about get boiled eggs. I was watching that on a YouTube channel. It was like they were showing it. It says, verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? And who is the most covetous person on the planet? Who wants to, like I said, dictate and tell you and police your country, but then they can't even police our country. We look like a laughing. Well, we're not a part of this thing, so let me take that back. They look like a laughing stock to the rest of the world. George Floyd's death went across the country. I mean, not the country, the planet. Well, not just the country, the planet. You had riots and protests in other countries. Verse 6 again. It say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And the reason why I got it out the blue letter, because when you go into this whole word thick clay, it's a Hebrew word.
Strong's H 5671. Have teat.
And it says biblical usage, weight of pledges, heavy debts. So the whole thing is that stimulus, this money, this monetary system, this fiat currency is a debt based system. You know what I mean? It's a debt. It's a debt note. It's not backed by any real physical, currency. Which is gold and silver or cattle or or land. You know what I mean? So you got people that's just so for actually doing this whole do another one. When that ain't how money work. You can't just keep on printing money. It's not the fact that the money is things are going up. It's the fact that the dollar is not as strong as it used to be. So that's why it's taking more money or more dollars to buy less shit. Then you got all these countries going around the U.S. dollar. So yeah, I mean this place is inevitable. This place is about to fall. You know what I mean? And if you can't see that, the Lord has blinded you. I had a few different scriptures lined up, but I'm gonna just end on probably this scripture out of Isaiah. Could have ended then, but I'm tripping. Shalakia, Isaiah 26. The book of Isaiah chapter 26. Because at the end of the day, this wicked ass devil, he know how this system works. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, he purposely created a system like this. You know what I mean? Like he went and it tells you in scripture about how he has accomplished a diligent search. When you go into the Babylonians, you know what I mean, and the Knights Templar, that's what they was doing. They was basically, loaning you credit, and credit is not a just way. It's not it's not. Like the elder had broke down. The main reason why Yahushua flipped out in the temple, the one time and it's not even going off, the one time he lost his, and it was prophesied that he was going to do that. His zeal. And kicking the money changers out. Because he was basically that they was giving you, like when you came to Jerusalem, you had to convert your money to the money that was used in the city. But you had the money changers that was actually like with silver, pure silver, they was giving off the silver. The brother in our camp, Amar, one of the heads, always brings up how the denarius in Rome, literally, it went from a pure piece of silver to they start mixing it with all kind of other metals. And that's what you got going on. Basically, the money was getting devalued. And that's what you got going on in America right now. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. Right now, this man lives in the, when you go into the book of Genesis, when Isaac blessed Esau, with the fatness of the earth and the dew from heaven. He lived by the sword. He's being shown favor, but he will not learn righteousness because it's not in him to be righteous. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So at the end of the day, this man is not going to behold the majesty because at the end of the day, he thinks he's a power. But when you go into the book of, Ezekiel, chapter 28, talk about he's wiser than Daniel. He sit up in the midst of the seas thinking that he is a power. but he's not a power. This man is not to be shown he's not a power. You know, everything has a purpose. I'm gonna end on this scripture. The Lord create two and two, righteousness and wickedness, good and evil, and Esau has a purpose, and this is his purpose. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. The wicked had a purpose. If you hadn't suffered the way you suffered on this side, how could you really fully respect and appreciate the kingdom? I tell brothers to go watch the Game of Thrones for a reason. I read the books, but, most of the books. But the point is, you should watch that show because people, just because they came out of a bloodline, feel they should rule. But why should you rule? Heavy is the crown of the king, and the king earned that spot. You know what I mean? People so privileged they feel all good, and they show you that in the show. You have people that deserve the kingdom, or literally worked for to get to where they was in a position. Then you had people that because by their name and who they was in, or who they come from, who was their father, they felt they supposed to rule. They never picked up a sword. They never, So, without struggling, me and the brothers just talked about a quote Bruce Lee made. He said, "Don't pray for an easy life, but pray for the strength to deal with, a hard life, or so something along those lines." You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a quote that talks about, damn, how does it go? But basically, a man is not made into a man without trials and tribulations. The Lord is chastising us to prepare us for what's to come. And that's the best thing you could do. Because you don't want to be, like, if a person pampers you and doesn't teach you really about life, that's the worst thing you could do to a child. You can hinder them. They thinking it's a fucking game, you know what I mean? Because you babying them, and then they get out in the world and see it's really wolves and vultures out here. Yeah, all you did was set your child up for failure. So, I ain't gonna, ramble on. That's the point. If you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, or be destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, this is the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This is ultimately his plan. He might put the thoughts in Esau's mind, having him think that he's coming up with this. To show you, it tells you in Scripture that the deceiver and the deceiver are his. He's putting these thoughts in. He putting in Esau's mind that he thinking that Esau really got a chance to stand up to the Most High. You know what I mean? Do you got to understand how much pride you got to have to think that? It tells you that in the book of Daniel. Like, these people really thinking they might, with a space force. What the fuck do you think the point of that is? So with that, I'm going to end the lesson. I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to call Elohim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakadosh B'Katam. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this was an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to the truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, I'm able to come up with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.